officers.
Oh, you got officers?
Yeah, well,
They stay on, they stay on Coventry 1. They don't come over to Coventry 2.
It wasn't mine. I had lids on my cans. It was somebody who didn't have a lid. Yeah. Trash. Even those who get home at 5, you miss it half the time.
I'll take care of that right now. No.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
You're at school.
Oh.
Everybody, turn your phones on.
I remember turning off, but not on.
Okay.
Are we? What are you pricing this? Okay.
So how was baseball?
Oh, God.
Yeah, we're just on baseball.
Well, you know, the Orioles didn't win much money in the did they? Well, have they won?
They did, but it was fun.
How many good players? I watched their. I don't think they had a good hitting above 2-1. Not good. So they had. Yeah, the best of the best. Somebody tearing it up out at one.
Nathan Flynn in Howard County, and also Lieutenant Milton Roach of Spring Grove Hospital Center Police. Thank you. You're back up. A notice application had been made by Harry E. Reed, member of 10092 Third Point Road in Chestertown. Michael Kuhn, member of 2208 Pennington Drive, Wilmington, Delaware. And Jonathan Mason, member 10099 Third Point Road in Chestertown. Representing Great Oak Manor, LLC, for a Class B beer, wine, and liquor country inn license on sales on the premises known as Great Oak Manor at 10568 Cliff Road in Chestertown, which shall authorize the holder thereof to keep for sale and to sell beer, wine, and liquor at retail at the place therein described for consumption on premise, A hearing on said application will be held in the County Commissioners' hearing room, this room, at 400 High Street, Chestertown, on August 7th of this year at 6 p.m., at which time any exceptions to the application will be heard. That will be published in the Kent County News on the 17th of this month, as well as the 26th of this month. We have a letter from Ben Grumbles, who is the Secretary to the Maryland Department of Environment. Thank you for your correspondence regarding the Wharton Wastewater Treatment Plant. Maryland Department of Environment appreciate your interest in this matter. The Wharton Wastewater Treatment Plant is indeed an outstanding example of collaboration between state and local governments as well as the agricultural community. It is also a wonderful example of cost-effective and productive water reuse, which is a high priority for the department. MDE hopes to replicate the success of this project in other areas of the state and expand water reuse to help preserve water supply for future generations. We look forward to continued partnership with Kent County on this and other reuse projects. A memorandum from Robert Edler, our inspector. In June, we approved the application of Chester River Wine and Cheese Company for a Class B beer, wine, and liquor license. On the first part of this month, the license was modified that they already have from a Class A license issued to the above-mentioned applicant on July 10th. Mr. Sharma, member and New Sharma LLC, was removed from the license issued to Sonny's Mart. And on July 10th, the Board of License Commissioners approved the application of Sassy River Market 2 for a Class A beer, wine, and liquor license. July 11th, license was issued again for the above-mentioned applicant, and also on July 11th, Sassy River Market surrendered their old license. Amy Murdoch's not has left, so from the Department of Planning, Housing, and Zoning. On Thursday, August 2nd of this year, at 1:30, the Kent County Planning Commission will review the application submitted by Creofield Fibers Corporation requesting final site plan approval. Creofield Fibers Corporation is proposing to construct additions to 3 of its existing 4 buildings totaling 23,264 square feet to improve shipping and receiving. A new rail siding is also proposed that will terminate at an elevated concrete platform adjoining one of the buildings. The property is located at 10200 Wharton Road in Wharton, Maryland, in the 3rd election district and zone industrial. Anyone requiring wants to view the application, please contact the Department of Planning and Zoning. Planning Commission letter says on Thursday, August 2nd, the Planning Commission will review application for Kent County from the Kent County Board of Education, who requests a special exception and combined final site plan review to allow a school bus parking lot on the existing bus parking area located adjacent to the former Wharton Elementary School building. Bus parking is proposed on existing asphalt parking area with a new security fence and landscaping to be installed. Property is zoned village and is located at 25301 Lambs Meadow Road in the 3rd District. All right. some legislative correspondence, and this is from Patrick Hughes, the Chief Counsel. This is from the Office of the Attorney General. We sent them a letter. Okay, I did something here. Okay. We sent them a letter asking for a Attorney General's opinion concerning the interpretation of paragraph 4-407 of the transportation article. They responded in that they were asked the same thing by the member of the General Assembly, Senator Hershey. Because we've already provided the advice to our client in this matter, we are attaching a copy of the letter advice, and rather than responding directly to us. That letter they sent to Senator Hershey was that said that that particular transportation article, that paragraph, which prohibits a state agency from constructing any road, toll highway, or toll bridge in the 9 Eastern Shore counties without consent of a majority of the affected counties. Specifically asked whether this provision would apply to a bridge that crosses the Chesapeake Bay, and if it would, whether it would require the consent of a majority of the 9 counties or only of the Eastern Shore County in which the bridge would terminate. In the Attorney General's view, this paragraph would apply to a toll bridge that spans the Chesapeake Bay. That section would not require the consent of all 9 counties, but likely would require only the consent of a majority of the Eastern Shore counties in which the toll facility is constructed.
So how you vote?
Well, yeah. Okay. If anyone would like a copy of this letter, just contact the Commissioner's office, and I'm sure the staff would be more than happy to provide you copies. Tom's not here to ask a question. Now, majority of the Eastern Shore counties in which the bridge would be constructed, if it's coming only to Kent County,
Where does it go from there?
so it's Kent County.
So, and the question is, what is comprising the toll facility? So it would just depend on what they proposed.
When I read that, I don't think that bill was even written with the idea of a bridge in mind. It sounds like to me that if there was going to be a toll road from Cecil County to Ocean City,
Right.
and they were going to try to pay for it with a toll road, then 5 out of the 9 counties would have to agree because it affects all of them. But I agree with the letter. I mean, the way it sounds, if a bridge was to come across to Kent County, we're the only county that's affected. It would be up to us to decide whether it comes or not. Which chances of that
Anybody have a
slim and none.
guess
Slim's left town,
how we
probably.
feel about that?
So anyhow,
Amazing.
yeah.
You got to forgive me. I didn't spend my last night at Holiday Inn Express, so I can't act as a lawyer. So, old commercial. Okay, from the House of Delegate, this is to a letter to the regional chief of the National Wildlife System, and it's actually to support the Eastern Neck National Wildlife Refuge as far as seeking appropriate administrative oversight.
Really using them big words here tonight.
Well, I did spend last weekend in National Harbor. So, okay, we have 3 sets of minutes, regular session minutes, public hearing minutes, and liquor minutes. I will not vote because I was not present.
So moved.
Second.
Properly move and second, the aforementioned minutes be approved as submitted. All those in favor say aye. Motion is carried unanimously, 1 abstention. We have a couple of raffle applications. Application from the Rock Hall Volunteer Fire Company for a raffle only to be done at the in Rock Hall at the firehouse on July 28th of this year from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., as well as a combined application for combined gaming devices for a single fundraising event from Sacred Heart Parish to be done on the St. John's Roman Catholic Church in Rock Hall on August 19th. What's your pleasure?
So moved. Second.
Properly moved and seconded, the aforementioned applications be approved. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion is carried unanimously. We have an application for a special Class C license for beer from St. Denis Catholic Church for their bull roast to be held at the church hall in Galena on July 28th, as well as a application for beer, wine, and liquor from the Grand Army of the Republic, Sumner Hall, down on Queen Street, part of the Heritage Festival, which will be on the 300 block of High Street on August 18th. Since this is their applications for a liquor license requiring a public hearing, this is that said public hearing. Anyone have any comments for or against the aforementioned applications? Hearing none.
So moved.
Second?
Properly moved and seconded that the aforementioned applications be approved as submitted. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion is carried unanimously. Yeah, you are here. Rosemary, please come forward. You're here to
appointment of a board member for a full term, a vacancy that has come up. So, seeking your approval of our recommendation.
have any questions? Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second?
It's been properly moved and second to approve the recommended applicant to the Kent County Local Management Board. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried unanimously.
Thank you.
Rosie, do you want to do the?
We got to do some more stuff. We'll get up real quick.
Well, you may have seen there was a couple articles recently in our paper about our newly approved children's cabinet. So we have an award that is about $59,000 more than last year, and that is due to the governor's office supporting the local care team now in our staff. The salary of Doncella Wilson. Otherwise, our other programs are same as last year. So we are continuing forward with Healthy Families, which is the home visiting program for children 5. Also, Connect for Life, which is an intervention program for youth who are not working and not in school. They have been pretty successful. They were able to place 13 youth in either a work opportunity or with Chesapeake College. One is full-time enrolled at Chesapeake College now. But it's been very challenging. It's a very challenging population. And our third program is Circle Build. They were recognized this year at the Caliber Awards through Mitchell for an innovative and effective program, new program. So that's a pretty prestigious regional award. They were very excited about that, and they serve families who are impacted by incarceration, 5 to 16-year-olds and their caregivers. So we're very excited to be able to have a year to continue moving forward with those programs.
Can you describe the local care team in a few sentences?
The local care team, it used to be called the Local Coordinating Council, and they're for situations where a family member has a child that needs extra supports. So that could be special needs or a mental health crises or other intensive needs, or just bullying, truancy, some other kind of issue that they've been trying to figure out how to get through to the system, whether it's the school system or social services or juvenile services or healthcare providers, et cetera. And when you're a parent trying to navigate all that on your own, or just calling each individual agency can be very difficult and overwhelming. And the local care team brings high-level people from all of those agencies, per case, with the parent in the room, and problem solves an action plan. Do we need to allocate resources? Who's going to pay for what? How are we going to connect them to the appropriate resources? So it's a really effective way to get things done quickly and really address the needs of each individual family. And we're very fortunate to have Dr. Wilson as our coordinator, the master's degree in social work, and working with foster care and wraparound services and social services for over a decade. So she really knows the system on the Eastern Shore. She knows the partners, and she's able to give it a high-level expertise here for our families in Kane County.
A lot of your programs you mentioned before, the base is like 5 up. What happens between 0 and 5?
The 3 programs we're funding actually run the full gamut. So Healthy Families covers 0 to 5.
Okay.
Circle Build covers 5 to 16, and Reconnect the Life covers 16 to 24. They do have specific target populations within those age groups. Healthy Families focuses on first-time parents who have specific challenges and need extra supports. Circle Build, obviously, a connection with an incarcerated parent, and Reconnect the Life, you have to not be working or not in school. But all of those programs are working together with other agencies, so if there's other relevant resources that are needed or available, then we can make referrals as necessary. And we have seen several cases where a child graduates out of Healthy Families and is able to move into a Circle Build support, or children who have aged out of Circle Build but have gone into Reconnect for Life because they happen to overlap in those target populations.
Any questions? Thank you.
No, good.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Great job. Now, yeah, it's your turn. Yes, sir.
All right. Good evening. First item we have on our agenda is Intercoastal Trading Incorporated, a contract renewal. This is the chemicals for the water and wastewater treatment plants. It's a contract that we've had before, and it's the first renewal that we're requesting, and it's no change in the terms.
So moved. Second.
Probably move a second to accept the contract from Intercoastal Trading, Inc., the amount of $140,397.25. All those in favor say aye. Motion is carried unanimously.
Okay. Next item we have on the agenda is the emulsified asphalt contract request. What we're proposing is approval to piggyback off the Queen Anne's County asphalt contract. This is for the CRS2 asphalt that we use for patching and resurfacing. This is for FY19, and there's an option for extending the contract to renew for 4 additional years in 1-year increments. And they've supplied our material in the past and provided really good service.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second to approve the contract with Hammaker East Limited for supply of CRS-2 liquid emulsified asphalt to the Department of Public Works in the amount of $308,000.
That's the slurry, right?
No, that's the asphalt that would be mixed with the chipstone.
Oh, okay.
When we do the resurfacing, then we also use that for patching.
Any further questions? Okay. All those in favor say aye. Motion is carried unanimously.
Okay, thank you. Next item we have is the DNR Water Improvement Fund Grant Agreement. This is for acceptance of a Water Improvement Fund grant for the Quaker Neck Public Landing Pier and Boat Slip Piling Replacement. The grant is in the amount of $97,500 and would become effective on July 1st, 2018 and expire on June 30th, 2021. It's a 3-year time limit. That's for the contribution that DNR would be making for that project.
So moved.
Second.
Good. Properly moved and second to sign and execute the DNR Waterway Improvement Fund grant agreement for the Quaker Neck Public Landing Pier and Boat Slip Pilings Replacement Project. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion is carried unanimously.
Thank you. Next item we have is a request for general fund balance transfer. If you recall the last meeting with the presentation by the finance director, there were a couple capital projects that we weren't able to complete in FY18. So we're asking for general funds balance transfer for those projects. The first one is the Wesley Chapel Pump Station project. The commissioners had previously approved the project, and they're meeting in May 8th. The cost that we're looking for the transfer is $76,029. We're looking at now and talking to the manufacturer, delivery of the materials in mid-September.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second for approve the general fund transfer in the amount of $76,029. All those in favor say aye. Motion is carried unanimously.
Thank you. The next balance transfer was the second item that was on the capital list. And again, both these projects were impacted by delivery dates from the manufacturer. This one's for the Kennedyville wastewater treatment plant non-potable pump. We're asking for a general fund transfer in the amount of $28,462. This is a project that was approved by the commissioners at the March 20th, 2018 meeting. This pump is scheduled for delivery the first week of August.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second to approve the general funds transfer in the amount of $28,462. All those in favor say aye. Motion is carried unanimously.
Thank you. The next item we have is the Galena Wastewater Treatment Plant Construction Engineering Change Order Number 4. This is a request by Macrone Engineering, who's the engineer of record for the town of Galena with the wastewater treatment plant upgrade. They've submitted a change order number 4 in the amount of $79,300 for additional services during construction, as well as additional inspection time to be provided for completion of the project. Under the agreement we have with the town, the county is participating at 30% share, and the county share that we're requesting with the change order approval is $23,790.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Sign Exhibit K, change order number 4 request in the amount of $23,790. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried unanimously.
Thank you. The last item we have is a budget allocation for a purchase order approval for the landfill monitoring. This is our requirements with the both the Nicholson landfill and Dublin Rubble landfill is continual monitoring of water and methane gas levels. Earth Data conducted that service over the past 12 years. They provided cost estimates for doing that, and that was factored into your budget deliberations. The request for the purchase order approval is for the Nicholson landfill, $87,163.80, and for the Rubble landfill, $17,413.80. There's a
Second.
Already moved and second to approve allocation of funds to Earth Data, Inc. from the Environmental Operations Division, FY19 operating budget for water and methane gas sampling monitoring at the Nicholson and Doolin landfills. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion is carried unanimously.
Thank you very much. That's all I have.
So you all settled in, huh? Okay.
Under fire.
Maybe a little smoke.
Yeah.
Marty?
You didn't see his typing. It was really big.
It was really big, right? I might have to adjust the font on my Novus software. Okay. Well, thank you. First on the agenda is a request to hire a lifeguard for the Parks and Rec Department. I know we're rather late in the season, but they conducted interviews on the June 14th and ultimately are requesting to hire an additional lifeguard. They'll start experiencing departures for college shortly, so in order to have enough staff for the holidays coming up, they want to add one more. So we're requesting approval to hire.
Order moving second to approve the recommended applicant for the summer season position in the Parks and Recreation Department as required, pending successful completion of county pre-employment requirements. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion is carried unanimously.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is a request to hire or approval to hire a part-time recycling attendant in the Public Works Department, Environmental Operations Division. We advertised the position internally and externally for 2 weeks, and it resulted in 3 applicants that were eligible to interview. So we interviewed all 3 on July 16th, Marty Holden and myself. We're requesting approval to hire the individual listed who was the best fit for the position at the salary, at the hourly rate requested as well.
So moved.
Order moving second to hire the recommended applicant for the part-time recycling attendant position in the Public Works Department, Environmental Operations Division as requested, pending successful completion of county pre-employment requirements. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion is carried unanimously. Okay.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is for the Planning, Housing, and Zoning Department, and we're requesting approval to hire an individual to fill the vacant community planner. The position was advertised internally and externally for 2 weeks. That first round of 2 weeks resulted in no applications, so we re-advertised it as open until filled. That yielded 3 applicants who all met the minimum requirements. So Amy Mordock, Sandy Adams, and myself interviewed those 3 applicants on July 13, 2018. The individual listed was the best interview, has a lot of experience, and we're requesting to offer employment to the individual at the salary listed.
So moved.
Order moving second to hire the applicant for the vacant community planner position in the Planning, Housing, and Zoning Department as requested, pending satisfactory completion of county employment requirements. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion is carried unanimously.
Thank you. And lastly, I believe, is a request from the Kent Family Center for a transfer of a current employee into the vacant in-home interventionist position. There's a current employee on staff that meets the requirements for the position. The position is in the same grade as the individual is currently working. It's been approved by the Maryland Family Network, the transfer, and would then just be additional hours for the individual in a new position.
Second.
Move second to approve the transfer of employee to the vacant in-home interventionist position as requested. The question that I have is that now you'll still have another vacant position.
Create a position, yeah, which we'll put out.
Further comment? All those in favor say aye. Motion is carried unanimously.
think that's all I have for this portion of the meeting. Thank you very much.
A couple things for you. Tonight, I have two major categories. Part of it is a report out, which I'll get into. I have several items for action for you this evening. The first is from the Kent County Sheriff's Office. This is the Department of Justice Equitable Sharing Agreement and Certification for FY19. This is the agreement that sets forth the terms and conditions for the seizure fund. This is for like I said, FY19, and this allows us to take part in that program.
So moved.
Second.
Probably move in second to accept the agreement and certification as presented. All those in favor say aye. Motion is carried unanimously.
Next, I have a request for a reappointment on the Department of Social Services Advisory Board. These are 3-year appointments, and the current member is interested in serving again.
So moved.
Second.
Probably move in second to approve the recommended individual for reappointment. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion is carried unanimously.
Last year, if you remember, we started doing deposits for tax payments with an application with Chesapeake Bank and Trust. Currently, what we have is a $100,000 daily deposit. So the agreements that are included in tonight's packet, and we did this last year as well, they temporarily raise that amount while tax payments are coming in fast and furious, and then decreases it back down after that season dwindles off. And this way, this will help facilitate the payments and yet keeps the risk minimal when it's not tax season.
So moved.
Second.
Probably move in second to approve the two merchant source capture agreements as submitted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried unanimously.
From the Office of Emergency Services, we have a request to approve the Motorola annual software. This is the legacy software in the amount of $28,832.79. This is the annually you approve the public safety radio system software.
So moved.
Second.
Probably move in second to approve $28,832.79 from budgeted OES funds to pay Motorola Solutions for annual radio system software upgrade. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried unanimously.
Next, we have a disbursement certificate. So what this is a while back, it was probably two and a half years ago, you first heard about the Division of Water and Wastewater applying for a grant for energy efficiencies. A lot of this is light bulbs and those types of energy efficiency upgrades. We were awarded a contract, and there's a disbursement form here for the first and final payment of $129,720.
So moved.
Probably move in second to approve the indicated disbursement. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried unanimously.
Next, we have a nomination letter for Tom McHugh. This is for the Maryland Traditions Heritage Award nomination. Tom McHugh is the founder of The Mainstay. He founded that in 1995. He's also produced and written many songs about Kent County. Most of the music in the album Chesapeake Scenes, the words and music of the Bay. So this is to recognize his contribution to our community.
Second.
Any discussion? None. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried unanimously. Yes, ma'am.
In the County Administrator Report section, I have more items than usual to report out. The first are thank you letters, and both of these requests were from agencies that were funded for various programs that you may or may not be you may or may not have firsthand knowledge of, because it did not directly go through one of our meetings, but rather one of the departments. The first is for the field hockey program. This is Kent County Shore Sticks as a thank you for the Parks and Rec grant money that was awarded. And second, this one comes from Washington College. This is a letter to thank you for the money that came from the Economic Development Department, and this is a contribution for their BITE summer camp for this past year, and that's a mathematical science, computer science. At the July 10th meeting, Midshore Behavioral Health presented, and she referenced a letter that had been sent in, and we had received it just barely before the meeting, so there wasn't time to get it on the agenda. But this is the Core Service Agency letter of agreement, and this is what gives them the authority from Kent County to provide oversight, planning, development of the public behavioral health system here in Kent County. Next, there's the tobacco sales compliance letters. Rob Edler evaluated 23 establishments, 22 carded the individual that was sent in for tobacco. One did not. So there is a letter that acknowledges that they did not do as well on the compliance check, and 22 thank you letters for the establishments that did exactly what they're supposed to.
Excellent.
And next, also from Rob Edler from the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. This is the FY18 annual report, $4,500 grant for education and enforcement of tobacco. So included in there is the grant and the annual report, and that had to be signed and sent back prior to this meeting.
Good.
Any questions?
Good. Any comments?
No. Good.
Any questions from the media type people? Any other comment?
Motion to go into closed session to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotions, compensation, removal, resignation, performance evaluation, appointees, employees, officials over the public body. Anna, can you wait 1 second? Has jurisdictions of any other personnel matter that affects one or more specific individuals.
Don't get paranoid now. Second. All those in favor say aye.
She got scared or something.